over to you, sir.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to be a part of this hackathon. And I can see many people whom I've already met in FDP Season 2 in Hyderabad at Center of Excellence it was held. I'm happy to see familiar faces and competing against them. Although it's not a competition, fine. So the tool that I've developed it is solely based on one premise. Let me share you the PPT of it. The basic idea behind this, or the basic premise of developing these kind of tools was, before if many of the businesses struggle at single point, which is the basic of reconciling their ITC as per books along with the corresponding ITC as per GSTR 2A. So when the transactions or data is large, either they skip it or go through manual reconciliation and all those things. So the challenge here is when you go for manual reconciliation,
Excuse
even
me.
after using, sorry.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, you can continue.
Sir, is my screen visible? Is my screen visible?
Right now, your presentation screen is not visible, sir.
Okay. I want to show the presentation screen. If it is visible, that would be good. Yeah. Is it visible now?
No,
Sir,
sir.
is it visible
Not yet.
now?
Okay, now, yes, it started streaming
Yeah.
now. Yes, your presentation is visible now. Please
Yeah.
continue, sir.
So what I was saying is earlier, many of the MSMEs, they struggle to with respect to GST reconciliation, wherein either some of them skip it, and recently what we have noticed is they are blindly taking the ITC as per GSTR 2B and not actually considering the actual ITC that they are eligible to take. Earlier, before this tool was developed, we used to do this reconciliation with the help of pivot tables and using macros along with certain advanced formulas. However, even then, the reconciliation used to take anywhere between 45 to 45 minutes to 120 minutes, because the basic issue with all these was we primarily deal with MSME clients, wherein either they do not have proper accounting system in place, even if they have, in many of the cases, they either skip the data into, I mean, they skip the field of original invoice number and original invoice date, or sometimes it might be wrong. So we cannot rely on that. Although there are many tools available in the market which clearly do this reconciliation, but they are dependent on original invoice number and original invoice date. But here I've created a tool which actually bypasses it and does about 95 to 98% of the, with accuracy of 95 to 98%. So before discussing all this, let me demonstrate the tool that I've developed. The tool is like this here. So let us say this one. Sir, is my screen visible? Sir, can anyone confirm if my
Yes,
screen is visible?
yes, you are.
So basically, this is the data that I've copied from the, assuming that the client is maintaining his books of accounts in Tally. So I've extracted the data from his Tally. This is the entire data. As you can see, there are around 1,827 entries or 1,800 odd entries. And this is the data that has been extracted from GSTR to A. As it has been extracted. As you can see, again there are around 1,870 entries. So to do this reconciliation using pivot table and all that, it used to take not less than 45 minutes if the data entry is accurate. It might even take 2 hours. So I have developed a tool here. I've developed a VBA macro wherein just with a single click of a button, all this happens in a span of just seconds, or you can say at max, depending upon the complexity of data, minutes. So here I have just, if I just press the reconcile button over here, once I press the reconcile button, it starts reconciling and each invoice level matching happens, and thereby in a span of just few minutes or seconds, depending upon the complexity of the data, I get the results. And mark my words, the tool which I have developed does not rely on document number and document date, for the sole reason that accountants are either not entering the document dates, or even if they are entering the document dates, it is just the date on which they have received the goods, not the original invoice number. due to which many complex problems arose and we were unable to do reconciliation in a proper manner. So I've devised this tool. And even this tool can be done using Python, but for the sake of simplicity, because as soon as we see an Excel sheet before us, any CA feels a bit relaxed. Okay, this is nothing complex. There is nothing doing. This is simple sheet, and we are very much here. As I've said, within a span of 2 minutes, the reconciliation is complete. As you can see, so the blank, I mean the non-colored ones are the ones which are not matching, and the blue colored ones are the ones where there is a mismatch in taxable value to the extent of around 100 rupees. As you can see here, the GSTR 2A data is there. Yeah. For example, let us see DBA Technologies. DBA Tech is the taxable value is 2372, whereas here the taxable value is 3305. So if there is any discrepancy in value in the taxable value up to rupees 1000 or 1, we can adjust the tolerance limit. Then I've colored it in blue. The rest all appears in green. As you can see, as soon as I do, the total of greens, that is exact matches, comes to around 6 crores 4,87,718 rupees. The same over here, it is 604,87729. It is hardly some 10 rupees difference, because I've considered that there might be an issue wherein there will be a rounding difference up to rupees 5. And the best part is, once I've done this, we can clearly share this Excel sheet with our clients, who upon receiving this, they can know where they've gone wrong and what is the issue with respect to their reconciliations. So coming to my presentation over here. So as you can see, approx 1800 entries I'm able to reconcile in a span of just 2 minutes. So the part is, you need not worry about whether the client has properly given the details of original invoice number and original invoice date. And the biggest issue that we were facing is, if you are considering solely auto-populated GSTR 2B data, then boss, you are easily going to face some trouble down the line, because now we have already getting notices, many kind of notices, wherein the GST department is asking us to reconcile. When you are solely depending on GSTR 2B data, what happens to the fact any invoice, any goods received at the end of the month, any purchases made at the end of the month, but the goods are received in a subsequent month. 16 subsection 2, clause ABCD clearly say that you must possess a valid invoice in hand, you must receive the goods. Here, when you are considering your GSTR 2B data solely, then what happens is, you are ignoring or bypassing 16 subsection 2 regulation, thereby you might invite many notices. So using this tool, you can easily reconcile your data. Now, the basic question or the important question, how did I develop this tool? It is very simple. Here I've given the prompt. I'm already using many AI software. Since ChatGPT is, I'm using it for my CA GPT, and I make sure that I'm not spending much on these softwares, and all the versions are free. That is my this. So I've used for developing various tools. I've developed some 4 or 5 tools which we are rigorously using in our office. This being one among them. So this is the code. I mean, this is the prompt that I've given to it. Here you can see this is the prompt that I've given to it. Entirely prompt. This is clearly just plain and simple English. So after that, I've given it, okay, this is the logic which I want you to follow. Depending upon that, it has generated me some sort of code here with simple English and the logic that I want. I give the code and sorry.
Abdul ji, last 2 minutes.
Yeah. So I've got the code. So I made sure that this code is integrated into my Excel tools. Once I copied it and created a macro over here. Once I created a macro and the macro has been into this button. Now, this is not just an isolated tool for the purpose of GST reconciliation. As you can see, as I told you, that people were solely relying on auto-populated GSTR 2B data. Happens is, I'll show a simple example. I've also integrated other tools into this, but since the time is not sufficient, I'll have to demonstrate only single use case. Here, year-end invoices. For example, as soon as I press that, I get details of all the year-end invoices, which are received end of the month, as you can see. So there is a higher probability that these invoices, although have been received at the end of the month, the goods are not received, and we need to verify details of in respect of these invoices. Along with that, I've also made sure to integrate TDS reconciliation under 194Q. So basically, this is not an isolated tool wherein it helps just in reconciling GSTR 2A data books. It is a comprehensive software. Moreover, I've added modules to this using Python. Once we are integrating with Python, what happens is we can easily, as I just showed it to you, there is another macro TDS under 194Q. So we can make sure that there is TDS compliance. Even this tool could be used for reporting under clause 44 of our form 3CB and 3CD. And yeah, another important thing, vendor payment optimization. How we can do this is using Python. We can do that because here, as soon as the code gets complex, the VBA codes get stuck. So we can make sure that who are the people who are regularly filing their GSTR returns belatedly, and make sure that we optimize our payments in such a way that we do not suffer much in terms of non-availment of ITC. So this is my tool basically. And as you can see, this is not just an isolated tool, and this is moreover, this tool we are using it regularly in our office for our GST day-to-day reconciliations. And this since this is basically an Excel sheet, if we are sharing this with our clients, they can easily make sure that they are doing reconciliations properly. And since this hardly takes 2 minutes, we can make sure that they are doing the GST to be reconciliations every month, because it doesn't take much time. Earlier, okay, I agree, it used to take so much of time. Now, with the help of this, we can transform our audit
Time is up,
reconciliation, GST
Abdul ji.
reconciliation. So with these few words, I conclude. Thank you.
Thank you, Abdul ji. And congratulations for having presented the wonderful use case on GST reconciliation, which can be very handy, as you said. And with all the integrations, if it is possible to be added, of course, with the Python integration, it can be a good tool that can come handy for a practicing chartered accountant, not only for GST reconciliation, but also for filling the clauses under 3CD report.
Sir, this
Now
is not
I,
just a
yes,
this
sir.
is not just a isolated tool. I've made sure that there are various other integrations that are part
Integrations
of this.
possible. Yes,
No,
as I
it's not
mentioned
possible.
before, once the,
Yes, we have
yes,
already
sir,
developed it and we are using it. It is not just an isolated tool. Because of lack
great.
of time, I couldn't.
I understand. Great. So now, just I have a couple of questions here.
Sure,
With
sir.
regard to the reconciliation, now, as you are aware, the books of accounts might contain some redundancy in terms of the accounting of vendor names. So, can the tolerance limit be set here, like how we set in fuzzy lookup in Excel?
Yes, yes. So, as you can see, let me show you the prompt that I've used here.
Okay.
Initially, sir, if my screen is visible.
Yeah, you're visible. Go on.
Yeah, see here, initially I've made sure that first the tolerance limit is up to rupees 5. If the tolerance limit in the taxable value is up to rupees 5, then it is
Okay.
considered as exact matches. However, as you can see,
Okay.
if it is up to rupees 1000, sir, since most of the clients that I deal with are hardly 10 crore or 5 crore rupee or clients, so I've made sure
Okay.
that it is up to 1000. This tolerance limit can
Okay.
be extended, or we can make
Okay.
sure that by making simple adjustments to the code, we are able to extract
Okay.
the results that we need.
Got it. Got it. Now, just to add on to the same question, now this is a monetary tolerance limit that you are referring to. Now, what if, for example, if there is a naming mismatch, if there is a redundancy in naming of a vendor, particularly when the bookkeepers,
Yes.
when they are maintaining the accounts, for example, if there is a company with the name ABC India Private Limited, that might have been accounted as ABC PVT Ltd. So now, in that case, is there any tolerance limit set, sir, in this?
Sir, I'm reconciling using GST number, sir, and not using GST
Okay.
name.
Okay.
So
Okay. Got it.
in the accounting tools, there is an inbuilt system wherein if you don't input proper GST number, it shows that there is some issue with regard to your GST number.
So you have done the data validation for the input column of GST number as well.
Yes, input column of GST number.
Done. And two-way reconciliation is possible. Like what you showed is, I believe, a reconciliation from the books to 2A. And can it be done on the reverse side as well?
It is both sides, sir.
To
It is not
both
just one
sides.
side. It is both sides. It is both. You
Okay.
can see.
So
You can.
with one action button, you are you are executing reconciliation on two-way.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Done. That's great. And for the viewers at large, I would like to highlight one point here. Abdul ji has used a model called Quen. So most of us think when we talk of AI or generative AI, most of us think we are talking only about Chat GPT being the market trend. But sir has shown here there are parallel models that exist in the market which are of that capability or maybe even more. And most importantly, what sir wanted to highlight here is Quen 2.5 Max. That's the model. Quen is the tool, and I believe this is a free version as well. So
Yes,
if at
yes.
all public viewers at large, if you have a concern that with ChatGPT there are possibilities are immense, but a cost factor is involved, maybe you can try the alternative models that are available in the market. So thank you very much, Abdul ji,
Sir, if you let me
for
add one
your
last slide.
presentation. Yeah, please.
Sir, the thing is, we need to make sure that all the tools available, AI tools are being used. I've made sure that a single AI tool is used for a specific purpose. For example, CAG I'm using for my educational purposes in my office. Similarly, Cloud I'm using it for drafting agreements. Along with that, other appeal related issues. Similarly, when I'm
Okay.
using for developing and other OCR recognition, I'm using Kimi. So there are many tools available. Depending upon our
Depending
suitability,
on the
we can
purpose and
switch
solution required. Yes,
so that the number of
that's
tokens do not get exhausted. That is the basic
very
idea.
true. Very true. That's the purpose. Thank you so much, sir. Now,
Okay.
since we have participant number three, Miss Bhavana ji, not being able to join us now, we shall move on to participant number four, CA Shalabh Hajela. Sir is here with a topic called use case called financial modeling with generative AI. So, lot of discussion we also had in the previous two presentations about generative AI and its capabilities. Let's move on to see what is in store for us. Over to you, sir.